Now in graphics, what do we have? Anybody has ideas what is there in graphics? SMS केलं ना तू? मग टॉप व्ह्यू बॉटम व्ह्यू असतो. बॉटम व्ह्यू असतो होय रे. हे बघ, हे 11वी 12वी राईट. बॉटम व्ह्यू असा प्रकार आपण वापरत नाही, जरी शक्य असला तरी सुद्धा नाही वापरत. म्हणजे देर इज अ टॉप व्ह्यू, फ्रंट व्यू, side view, yeah, these three views are there. Now here the things, anybody else has done any drawing earlier, elementary, intermediate? But okay, केला असला तरी त्याचा उपयोग काहीच नाही आहे, right? It is only for the imagination, because over there it is always a freehand drawing, whereas here we will not be drawing anything freehand unless there is a question which is now not there in your syllabus to draw freehand. We did have that question to draw it freehand, because somewhere on site you will have to make a rough sketch of whatever is there, and over there you can't say that मुझे drafter दो, board दो, सब दो और मैं अभी dimension लेके करता हूँ. इतना time ही नहीं होता. I will have to simply make a sketch, and आजकल वो भी आसान हो गया because we simply take a photograph, right? So that's why that freehand is not there. And now we will have to imagine the objects which are drawn on a paper. Object is 3-dimensional and we are drawing it on board which is 2-dimensional, drawing paper which is 2-dimensional, and we should imagine that it is a 3D object. And of course some things we see and some things we don't, and so we need to justify so that it is to be imagined properly. Say to begin with, you don't draw anything. Let me see. What is this? Rhombus, parallelogram, right? Now two parallelograms, right? So we are still in 2D. लेकिन अगर ये 2D फिगर होता तो ये लाइन नहीं आती, बिकॉज इट विल बी सिंपली अ शेप लाइक दिस, जो कि 2D होता. ये लाइन इसलिए आ गई क्योंकि अब कुछ गड़बड़ है, राइट? सो देयर इज अ एज, मतलब फोल्ड है. अब थोड़ा सा सोचो कि इट इज लाइक अ बुक ओपन, सो वन फेस एंड अदर फेस. सोच सकते हो, राइट? एंड देन नाउ इट कुड बी अ बॉक्स, राइट? अब हम ग्राफिक्स में ये मान के चलेंगे कि एवरीथिंग इज सॉलिड, नॉट द सरफेसेस. वेरी फर्स्ट रूल. So you won't say that these are just three planes, one plane, second plane and one plane on the top. No, it's a solid thing. That means on the other side everything should be there. It's a solid block, right? But I don't know what is there exactly on the back side. Suppose this is a wrong figure, because within the surface I cannot have anything like this. It could be only the boundary of the subject. So suppose I remove this. So the front face is U shape, but then again it is wrong because it is solid. आप ऐसा एक टुकड़ा कैसे निकाल सकते हो? You will have to have a slot. अगर slot है तो ये एज तो दिखनी चाहिए, बराबर है? अब ये अगर पूरा slot होता तो मैं ऐसे दिखा था. So it is, I can see it up to this and it's going inside. लेकिन अगर वो पूरा नहीं है तो I can say that इतना ही कट किया, बराबर है। अरे लेकिन इतना कट किया तो पीछे का सॉलिड तो है ना, तो ये लाइन भी आनी चाहिए। गेटिंग इट? दिस इज द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट पार्ट। एक बार हम उसे देखने लगे तो सब कुछ बनता है, राइट? एंड अभी आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा, 1 महीने के बाद जब आप कॉलेज ज्वाइन करोगे और हमारे साथ बाकी बच्चे होंगे ना, तो आप देखो कि वो कैसे, हाँ ऐसे ही हो जाता है उनका। हमने स्टेप बाय स्टेप किया। एनीबडी हैज एनी प्रॉब्लम, आस्क मी राइट नाउ। अब सोचो कि ये बॉक्स मैंने उल्टा कर दिया, तो ये फेस पीछे जाएगा, ऐसा पूरा का पूरा टर्न किया, राइट? अगर ऐसी चीज होती थी स्लॉट पीछे, तो मुझे यहां तो दिखाई नहीं पड़ती थी। इस फेस पे मुझे क्या दिखता था, या ऐसे। सो द पॉइंट इज, पीछे जो फेसेस है उस पे क्या है मुझे नहीं दिख रहा। सो 1 3-dimensional व्यू वोंट बी सफिशिएंट। दिस इज नॉट सफिशिएंट, राइट? मैंने एक बार उसे और 180 डिग्री से टर्न किया तो भी प्रॉब्लम यही रहेगा कि भैया बॉटम, ये जो बॉटम व्यू कह रहा था, तो अगर मैंने इसे ऐसा टर्न किया जस्ट 90 डिग्री से, तो वो जो कट था वो अब नीचे गया। अब मैं कैसे भी इसे इस तरह से रोटेट करूं, मुझे कहीं भी स्लॉट नहीं दिखेगा, बिकॉज इट इज देयर एट द बॉटम। समझ में आ रहा है? So 3D views are confusing. So they say something like this. See the conventions which we follow. We draw a center line, dash and dot. We don't write it, huh? We simply draw a line like this, which clarifies everything, because it says that it is symmetric. इट इज सिमेट्रिक। सो जो यहां है वही पीछे होगा, लेकिन जो यहां है वो पीछे होगा क्या यहां? नहीं, बिकॉज वो सेंटर लाइन नहीं ड्रॉ की है। इफ आई ड्रॉ दैट, सॉरी सेंटर नहीं आया वो, बट ठीक है, ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड। तो पीछे वही है। अब कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं है, अब सिर्फ कंफ्यूजन बॉटम का है, क्योंकि टॉप और बॉटम सिमेट्री नहीं दिखाई उसने अभी तक, तो वो एक और। गेटिंग इट? राइट। अभी कुछ नहीं ड्रॉ करना है हमें। दिख रहा है? मुझे ऐसे कट करना है, गेटिंग इट? मैंने ब्लेड ऐसे रखा है एंड आई वांट टू कट इट थ्रू। तो क्या होगा? ऐसे होगा और ये ब्लॉक चला जाएगा। अब इस ब्लॉक का फिगर आप अलग से ड्रॉ कर सकते हो जो मैंने निकाला है। कैन यू इमेजिन इट? राइट। ये स्लॉट निकालना। इज दिस फिगर राइट? नहीं, ये नहीं होना चाहिए। इज दिस राइट? नो, क्योंकि ये एज है तो ये तो दिखनी चाहिए ना, लेकिन कोई ऐसी एज नहीं हो सकती, तो ये होनी चाहिए। एंड वन मोर, बराबर है। अब यहां एज यहां है, एक्चुअली ये पार्ट है, ये सरफेस है, ये वाला भी है, ये एज, बट वी डोंट ड्रॉ इट। गेटिंग इट? ये जो मैंने डॉटेड दिखाया है, सो दैट इज द कन्वेंशन यूज्ड फॉर हिडन लाइन. Line exists, but we can't see it. So there could be a line like this. पीछे वाली. There will be a line like this. It exists. ऐसे तीनों मिलेंगे जाके. But normally in 3D drawings we don't show them. So these won't be there. Right? And what? Now this is the most problematic thing. ये जो ड्रॉ किया है, इससे कुछ पता नहीं चलता, क्योंकि ये थ्रू भी हो सकता है. हाँ, अब अगर मैंने ये ऐसे ड्रॉ किया तो द थिंग्स विल बी क्लियर. छोटा सा पीस निकाला है, लेकिन वो इसके अंदर था तो इसलिए दिख रहा है. मैंने इसकी लेंथ अगर बढ़ा दी तो ये चला जाएगा, और आई विल नॉट हैव एनी आइडिया कि वेदर इट इज थ्रू और इट इज हाफ वे. आर यू गेटिंग इट? राइट? अब मैं एक 5 मिनट का ब्रेक लूंगा और आपको एक काम देने वाला हूं. ना आपको ड्रॉ करना है ना कुछ भी. ओके, आई एम जस्ट पुटिंग इट दिस वे. ये मेरा एक्स एक्सिस है, ये वाई एक्सिस है, जेड एक्सिस है. सो दीज 3. फाइन? राइट. अब आपने मुझे बताना है एक्स एक्सिस को पैरेलल कितने लाइंस हैं. 1, 2 ऐसे काउंट करने हैं. राइट? वाई एक्सिस को पैरेलल कितने लाइंस हैं. जेड एक्सिस को पैरेलल कितने लाइंस हैं. एंड अदर्स कितने हैं. इससे क्या होगा कि आप हर एक लाइन को देखोगे, क्योंकि आपको काउंट करना है. बराबर है? ये एक. सेकेंड एक्सरसाइज एक्सो वाई प्लेन को पैरेलल कितने हैं, मतलब बॉटम प्लेन को पैरेलल कितने प्लेन्स है. एक बॉटम है, नीचे वाला है ना, ये है, ये है, ये है, लाइक दैट यू विल हैव टू काउंट. वाई ओ जेड इज दिस, इसको पैरेलल कितने प्लेन्स है. देन एक्सोजेड इज दिस, इसको पैरेलल कितने प्लेन्स है. राइट? एंड अदर्स. अब खैर प्लेन्स में अदर मतलब सिर्फ यही है, एक ही है. करोगे काउंट? एक एक बगुया ना. लेट अस सी हाउ मेनी लाइन्स आर देयर पैरेलल टू एक्स एक्सिस. किती? 10. So one answer is 10. 11. Yeah. 11. So 10 or 11 असं झालंय. And this is समर्थ. आता बघूया. Parallel to x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? ही मागची 6. ही 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. कुठली राहिली? दुसरं सांगू? We can think other way around. Let us consider only the front plane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. असं आहे ना? आहे ना? त्यामुळे ही लाईन येणार ना पॅरलल त्याला. So 11. Right? Right. Now, parallel to y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. आता एकदम खालची घेतो. 9. एकदम खालची. 10, 11, 12. Right? Parallel to z. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. तुम्ही पाहिलं ना, मी मोजतोय ना, it follows a particular sequence. I am going from front plane to the back plane. So 7, then 8, 9, 10, 11. Right? And others 2. Right? Parallel to x, so y planes. 1 is the bottom plane. 1. Second is this plane. 2. Right? 3, 4 and 5. 5. Then y o z. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then x o z. 1, 2, back 3, others 1. Right? Why this is important is when we go for drawing those views, we'll be studying them, front view, top view, side view, then each of this line should be seen. They could be overlapped, yes, but we will have to make sure whether each line is shown. Okay, suppose I am looking in this direction. What will I see? I will see something like, I am just drawing the front plane. Everybody accepts in this direction. No, only the front plane. I said, we follow this. So front plane is drawn. Right? Now I will have to check. Is there anything here? No. हा एक स्लॉट आहे आणि हा एक स्लॉट आहे. इथे काही आहे का? आहे. Now, the common mistake that people make is because it is seen with respect to this upward, they make a mistake कि ये ऐसे ड्रॉ करते हैं. Base plane ला सुरू होतं. It starts at the base plane. So this rectangle will be here. Okay, right? So our first task is done. Now I will modify it slightly because I don't have anything to draw. Now comes the back plane. Back plane is directly like this. It doesn't have these two. Right? Now suppose what has happened? I have removed a block from here. It was already continuous one, but I removed a block. वो block कैसे था? It is This is the block which got removed, right? इसमें fit होता है, right? Now I try to view this. I can't see this. I can't. इतना दिशनारस नहीं ना, right? So it will be shown like so it exists, but I can't show it. Got it? But this view is not sufficient because it exists, but I can't understand its depth. This view does not tell me as what is the depth of this. This view does not tell me as what is this depth. Right? So I need to look from other direction. That is top view. And I need to look from left. If I look from left, see, I don't want these views to move up and down. There is a perfect relation. ये जो है so I draw the front plane. This is drawn. Okay, so now I can see the depth, right? But what I will miss in this view is this, because it will be simply seen as a point. Here this depth was seen as a point. So all the lines which were parallel to y-axis, those appeared simply as points, because it was just XOZ. See, and when we look from left, what we see is y and z. So x will disappear, and that's why there is a relation between z and z. So we draw these, right? And then it goes up to this height, fine. Then I come till this. There is this relation. Now this figure does not tell me whether this plane is vertical or inclined, right? So ये टेढ़ा नहीं होता. Normally ये एक गलती होती है लोगों से कि ये व्यू ड्रॉ करते वक्त it goes like this. No, it is still the vertical plane, right? This plane is seen as a line here. वेळ लागेल म्हणून आपण आज काही ड्रॉ करणार नाही आहोत. We are simply understanding it. Are you agreeing? This plane will be seen as a line. This plane will be, back plane will be seen as a line. This plane over here is seen as a line. Now what happened to this line? Is it there or not? So it is there, because it is not present here, but this top plane also will be seen as a line. So what rectangle which we see over here is actually this one, and this top one full is this plane. What I can't see is this slot, and it will be present from front till the end, from front till the end. When I am looking from left hand side, front face is on the right side. बराबर है? So हमें, whenever we are given object like this, we will have to place ourselves, or it is as if that object is now in your hand. You look from front, then you look from left, and then you look from top. Getting it? This is what we are going to start with. We are not going to start with those engineering curves and lines and all, because that will be difficult to imagine those lines. We'll come to them after a short time, once we have that vision कि क्या हो रहा है, right? First part we will do this. Second part में हम करेंगे graphics में. We are given views like this, and we are required to imagine the object. Other way around. Like for example, I say this is view from front and this is view from left hand side, जैसे हमने यहाँ किया था, right? How the object will be? एक ब्लॉक है पण तो ट्रायंग्युलर आहे. आता प्रश्न फक्त एवढाच आहे की वेदर दॅट इन्क्लाइन प्लेन इज टुवर्ड्स फ्रंट और टुवर्ड्स बॅक. नाही, see this object which was I was holding it, I have turned it, front face has gone to the left, to the right, right. So this object सामने से देखा, it is seen as a rectangle. I turn it, left से देखा तो ये लाइन सीधा आ गया, right? मतलब front face is vertical, back plane will be inclined. If I am to draw this object, it will be drawn like this and not like this, because if the object is like this, then this view will change to right, very small things. Okay, so the two views we can imagine the object, even third view is sometimes required. Right? What could be the top view of this? We can see this C shape, we can see this rectangle, these two will be connected by this rectangle, there will be this vertical plane seen as a line and whatnot. Got it? This is where we will be starting with graphics. We will give more stress on the imagination, and next time when I give you the drawing sheets and drawing material which you don't have to bring, right? Because on this, if you bring those drawing books, then on this board you can't work, कारण ते सगळे uneven होतं, right? I will be giving you clips like this so you can fit it, so paper won't move and you can draw it. तो पेपर बरोबर याला फिक्स होतो, याच साइजचे हे जे आहेत ना, हे 3 साइजचे, right? And whenever you finish whatever task I give you, I will ask you that go for sketching it freehand, or probably on the very first day we will simply waste 1 or 2 papers to draw the lines parallel to this. Just keep on drawing freehand. Right? Freehand sketching is important because sometimes we can, even looking at the object, I can even make a small sketch कि इसमें ऐसे ऐसे होने वाला है. So I am thinking. See, there are 2 ways of solving the drawing problems. One is you imagine and think properly, and then you simply draft it. We won't do both the things simultaneously, then we are likely to miss the lines, right? And it carries maximum weightage, and this is orthographic. Isometric also is there, where the 2 views are given and we are required to draw the object. So we have orthographic, we have isometric, we have sectional. They will even say that cut this object and draw it, how it will appear, right? So these 3 are interesting topics, and once these are done, then we might go with the lines part or only planes part, like this particular plane. Only this plane, C shape. It is seen like this, and here it appears like this. So while solving orthographic, we are actually solving problems of lines too. Because I can ask you, where is this particular line? It is seen here. Where is this line here? It is this one. So we get that understanding that this line is parallel to whatever we call this as vertical plane. Right? So we start with this particular topic. and it is time consuming. We will take the sufficient time so that we will draw it properly, and we will pay attention first of all to the line work, because that is very important. It is not that you have drawn it, because line thickness, darkness is to be maintained. All the lines are of different nature. Even if you see here, this line appears to be faint than this, because it is just a construction line. Final projection, whatever I have, that has to be equally dark and thick. So the view should be clear, construction lines should be faint, and furthermore we have something called as dimensioning also, and for that also we will waste 3-4 hours. For what? Just to draw arrowheads. Just arrowheads. One day 1000 arrowheads are to be drawn, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, because they should look alike. And while dimensioning, you are required to use numbers, and we wouldn't write it 19. No. Right? It has to be written like so. It does not matter how is your handwriting, right? You will have to write it in this manner. So one day it will be only arrowheads, and till you draw them correctly, and till you can write 0 to 9 with the even height, and 8, no, it has to be 8. It is 2, no, it has to be 2. It has to be like that. तर 10 आकडे करायचे, पण आपण आजतागत नाही केलेले, त्यामुळे करावे लागणार आहेत. आणि एरोहेड्स लोक असे काढतात, असे काढतात. नो, देयर इज अ डायमेन्शन. इट शुड बी 3:1. इट शुड बी फिल्ड अप, and then we are used to draw towards right easily. उलटा काढायचं म्हटलं की चुकतं. हा इकडे काढायचा आहे समजा, चुकतो तो. त्यामुळे यू विल हॅव टू प्रॅक्टिस ड्रॉइंग इट लाईक दिस. कुठलीही घाई करायलाच लागत नाही अरे. यू विल हॅव टू प्रॅक्टिस. इट शुड बी फिल्ड, राईट? सो व्हाय आय एम टेलिंग यू ऑल दिस, you are free to practice it. Whenever you get time, you finish up with your object and somebody else is still continuing, though you won't waste your time. You will practice for handwriting only 0 to 9, 10 digits, only 2 arrowheads, right? Because then if it is inclined, still it should be drawn like that, no? But those are always towards left and towards right, right? And simultaneously the line work. That will make you score very well even in your term work, and you don't have to repeat anything in the college, right? And then at the latter stage we will even have the characters to be written, because we don't write like this is front view. No, it is understood. People do write it, but we won't. It is understood. Looking at the views, we know which is front view, which is top view. We don't mention it, right? But sometimes data is to be written. When I'm talking about the final paper, where you will have to write data. What is the data given to us? It is length of line AB is 60, and then we are required to write it with the same height. Though we are free to draw those 2 lines faint of the 3 mm or 5 mm height, but all this is, that will carry the maximum weightage, right? Your problem could be correct, but arrowheads are bad, they won't give you marks. Handwriting is bad, they won't give you full marks. And the line work. So the first impression has to be the correct one, right? And this cannot be achieved during the college time, believe me, because we have twice the practical, 2 hours each. That too, the professor will be drawing something and you are required to copy, and we just run around and try to do that. Instead, if we have done it, then it will be very easy for us, because we don't have to look at what he is drawing. We don't have to listen to whatever they are telling us, because we know what is to be done. We can directly start with the work, and that 2 hours practical will be more than sufficient to complete that particular assignment, right? And whatever drawing sheets I will give you, okay, believe me, whatever assignments and etc. the college people will tell you, ask you to do, you already have done it, so you can do it fast. Or if you are in a hurry, you can submit the same drawing sheet, right? I don't mind it. Because end of the semester they give you something like 50 problems are to be done in 2 days, 3 days. This has happened last year, even before that. Depends on some college. If you do it regularly, so there is no punishment, but if required. So whatever drawing sheets I give you, preserve them. अभ्यासासाठी तर लागतीलच, but otherwise also they could be of use. Initial first 4-5 days it would be very rough, but then you yourself will appreciate कि yeah, my drawing is good, right? And preserve it. Get a folder, keep on putting into it, and then it can be of use, right? And then when you will look back at the end of the month, even you will find that your drawing has improved a lot, right? But the interesting subject, irrespective of your branch, it's worth learning. And that too, you will require this drawing again in your civil engineering, fundamentals of civil. They ask you to draw some plan of some home when the brick work is to be shown of same thickness. There is a convention for drawing the window, the door, and the front view, how it appears from the front, and the side view, and the foundation of it. So over there also we can draw it very interestingly, because we know what we are drawing, right? Otherwise they will simply give you a printout. Take this and draw karke lao. And the dimensions also etc. are there. But then you will enjoy this whole thing, not in this month, but during the college, those 3 months. When you look at the drawings of the others, you will certainly feel, yes, now I know where I am at, right? And that has to appear. In engineering, we will not be, unless otherwise asked, we will not be drawing anything freehand. Okay? Even in electrical, you will have to have this practice of drawing the resistor properly. हे जे करतात लोक असं नाही, not like that. We are engineers here, right? And we know that it has nothing to do with whether this is 5 ohm or 10 ohm or 15 ohm, right? हे किती काढले त्याला काही अर्थ नाही आहे ना. It is a convention. So we practice for 4 and we always draw 4. For inductance, we draw it properly, yes. That will make the difference whenever somebody sees whatever you have drawn. Yes, that can be done only through the practice, right? But this drawing, that will make even your term work and everything far better than others. And in papers like mechanical engineering, basic mechanical engineering, where we are required to draw actually so many diagrams, they ask you what is the working of a brake or a clutch, or draw the schematic of a boiler, right? Then we are required to draw figures and figures only. I always tell people that fundamentals of mechanical engineering paper, every answer should contain a figure. You will have to write less. If you keep on saying, so there is a spring on the right hand side and some plate on the left hand side, oh, who is going to learn it and who is going to imagine it, right? You can't describe these things. You draw the figure, you name it, and you simply explain the working of it. That's it, right? And for that also we will require speed. because the weightage of the question could be hardly 6 marks, 7 marks. Then you will get 10 to 15 marks to draw it and write it, right? So graphics is not only this graphics, but that speed that we will achieve, that should be used to draw every other figure, from civil, from mechanical, from mechanics, everywhere. In mechanics we hardly have to do anything, right? So now our schedule will be every day we start with the maths, because I tried starting with the drawing in the earlier classes, then people never turn back to maths and the entire day is drawing only, right? So we will cover 2 hours maths daily, right? And sometimes if you get bored, then we can start drawing early, but definitely we will every day start with maths and then we will switch over to drawing. Then there will be initially 1 or 2 objects to be drawn. There could be more objects given to you, all in the printed form. Some we draw here, some we can draw at the later stage, right? So you will have to make one file for those problem statements, right? And otherwise every day I will have to give the same. One sheet may contain 6 problems to 10 problems and we can't finish all of them, right? So we will decide, okay, this problem is to be done here, the other you can look, and if you say, if you are comfortable how I can do it, fine, we do it and we check it. If our speed is good, we have more problems to be done here, do it.